Is money the root of all evil? Today I want to talk about the probably most misunderstood quote in the Bible that there is, and that is that money is the root of all evil. Hi, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Claudiu Manea. I'm a psychologist and a therapist, and for the past 10 years, I've been helping families grow stronger together and function better together. And today I want to talk to you about this misquoted idea from the Bible that money is the root of all evil. And I want to explain to you why this is a problem, why having this idea is a problem, why it works against you, and what exactly the implications are. And I'm going to be looking at the subject from the three perspectives that I like to use, and that is the scientific, the psychological, and the spiritual perspective, because I think that we are going to make tremendous progress as humans, as a species, when we learn to integrate these three perspectives and not act like they are separate or, worst even, opposite to each other. So, from a strictly scientific and material perspective of things, money has no moral color in and of itself. Money is just a tool, just like any other tool that humans use in their lives to make their lives easier, to help them perform certain tasks and all of that. An axe, for example, can be used for splitting up wood and using that wood to heat up your home. But an axe can also be used to hit someone over the head with it and kill them. The axe is the same. The difference is on the person using that tool. Whether that person intends to use that tool to do good or to do harm or to do evil. The tool remains the same. The tool in and of itself is not moral. The moral is with the person using the tool. And this goes for money just like everything else. So money is just a tool that we use. We can use money to do good, and we can use money certainly to do bad things, to do evil things, of course. If we have a lot of money, we can use that money to do a lot of good because we have a lot of money, or to do a lot of harm precisely because we have a lot of money. So having a lot of money is not the problem. What you do with that money is the problem. From a psychological perspective, the problem is that a lot of people tend to construct their entire personality and to define their entire identity based on money, based on how much money they make, how much money they earn, how much money they have, and all of that. And based on, of course, on what that money can buy for them, properties, cars, and all of that. Now, the problem in doing so is that, first of all, you are once again attributing a moral value to money, and you are saying, and I've actually heard this a lot throughout my entire life, you are saying that people who have no money are in some way inferior to people who have a lot of money. And this is quite subtle most of the time, but you can actually hear it if you know what to look for. So there's this opinion, there's this trend of saying that, poor people are poor because we have a lot of opportunities these days. We live in a world where everything is possible. We have all these resources at our disposal. Therefore, people who are poor because there's something wrong with them. They are lazy, they're stupid, they are addicted to things, and they waste their money on their addictions and all of that. And people who have a lot of money did something right with their lives. They have some sort of virtue above all the rest. And that's a big problem. Letting your identity be defined, if not altogether, but at least in a large part by the money that you have, is a really big problem, especially when something happens to that money. Because there are people who go from having a lot of money to having no money. So people who have, let's say, a very successful business, something happens, whatever, black swan event, like they say, and they go from having a lot of money to being bankrupt, and they have no money. That is usually a very delicate position to be in if you have let your identity be defined by the money that you have. Because when your identity is defined by the money that you have, and you go from having a lot of money to no money, that entire house of cards that you have built and that you call a personality and an identity collapses onto itself. And what you are left with is nothing, is just desperation. And that's when a lot of people in that situation actually lose the will to live. So that's a very dangerous position to put yourself in. To think that money in and of itself justifies or qualifies you as a person in any way. Now, like I said, having a lot of money affords you the possibility to do a lot of good. That's for certain. But it doesn't make you necessarily a good person. It's not related to the money. It's not the fundamental attribute of a person. And from a spiritual point of view, the love of money means actually that you are committing the act of idolatry, meaning worshipping a false idol, and therefore you are breaking the first and second commandment, which is, I am your God, you will have no other gods but me. And the second being, you will make no false idols and worship them. So in you loving money, you are actually personifying money, and you are actually worshipping money as a false god. And you can actually see this in the language of some people, in the language that some people use when they say, this is what money bought me. And they wave at the car or at the house or whatever, or at a yacht or whatever that may be. This yacht, money bought me that yacht. It's like money is a person or some sort of entity or spiritual being of any kind, and that entity has bought that person the yacht. You see, it's idolatry. It's worshipping money as a god. And in you worshipping money as a god, aside from breaking the first and second commandment, the problem is that this type of self-made religion has no moral backbone that we can speak of. So if you are worshipping money, your only moral imperative that you have to abide by is the doctrine of more. Okay, so it's like the character of Michael Douglas in Wall Street answered when he was asked, when is enough money enough. And he said it's never enough, it's always more. So it's more. There is no moral imperative other than make more money. And make more money is meant to be understood by make more money by whatever means necessary. And this by whatever means necessary should pinpoint to you the exact problem with this, because you are expected to sacrifice everything in the pursuit of more. Okay? So, if you have fallen for this trap of thinking that money is the root of all evil, I think that this is actually a diabolical idea. Because think about it like this. If, like I said, if you have a lot of money, you can do a lot of good. If you are a person who is inclined to do good with that money, the devil is not going to allow this to happen, or is at least going to try to interfere with it as much as possible. So he will allow bad people to have a lot of money because they are not interested in using that money for any sort of good. But he will interfere with good people having a lot of money because that is going to pose a problem in the future. So he twists the understanding. It's like he always does. The devil always tries to deceive you and always tries to change language and patterns and the understanding of words in order to deceive you. So he twisted this idea of the love of money is the root of all evil into money is the root of all evil, in order to prevent you from acquiring money, in order to make you despise money even, because that way you will have less resources to do good. So if you are a Christian, or even if you're not a Christian, but if you want to do good things in your life and you want to help people and all of that, this idea that money is bad is a financial trauma that you have, and you need to fix that because it's not going to be helpful moving forward. And it is the hate of money is not a virtue, because a person can be very rich and a very good person. A poor person can be a very evil person, and the other way around. So it's not that someone is a good person because they are extremely poor. Those two might happen at the same time and might be true at the same time about someone, but that doesn't mean that there is a causation between the two. That person isn't a good person because he is extremely poor. It just happens to be the case. But it's not like being poor allows you to develop some sort of higher virtue. So you need to get that fixed if you want to do a lot of good, because it's an idea. This misunderstanding is an idea that is preventing you from doing the good work that you are trying to do. If you found this interesting, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. So hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Whether that's the case or not, thank you for taking the time to listen to this and making it to the end.